Some days you will. They kind of come in bunches. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the season.
How have his hands gotten better over the years, and how has he become a better receiver?
Um, he's worked really hard on route running. I know that. Still some room to grow because he should never get covered. He's just too big and fast. So anytime he's covered, he did something wrong. Tell him I said that. Okay. But I know he has a jugs machine at his house. He works on it all the time. And so I call him at times. He's over at his house just catching balls. He has guys over there come catch balls. So he worked really hard at it. I wasn't really here when at the beginning of his career, but ever since I've been here, I know just working the jugs at home, working catches pre-practice, he's always been really diligent about that.
Obviously, he's focused on himself, but when he sees like last week, Kittle had a big game against Pittsburgh, and I've heard him talk about Kelsey before. How much does that sort of can you notice? Wanting to be considered in that tier of tight end. How much is that? You notice him that driving him?
I think it definitely drives him. He definitely wants to be known as one of the best in the game, and everyone knows that kind of the recognition you get from production. But we watch those guys. I make a cut up for them for all the explosives around the league for all the tight ends. So they get to watch those guys. They kind of keep up with what everybody's doing. I think that's important at your position to just know what's going on. But I think it definitely drives him. Being the best drives him as a team and as an individual. So I think he's definitely aware of what's going on around the league with the other tight ends.
What kind of challenge do Watt and Highsmith present for your guys, especially with a rookie right tackle who you guys might need to help more than normal?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter who the tackles are. When those edge players are out there, you got to have a plan for them. You got to mix up looks. You got to do a lot of different things. So there's always a challenge when you're playing these guys. It's always a challenge when you're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They're always good. And these edge players kind of make that whole defense go. So we're definitely aware of where they're going to be. We're aware of what we have to do to, in the run game, in the pass game, pass protection game, what we're going to do to try and be successful.
Outside the edge players, though, what other challenges does the Steelers defense present to the tight ends?
I think they do a good job of mixing looks. They had different personnel packages. They present you some different looks across the board. You're not sure what you're going to get. So I think that's always a challenge there on the edge. But I think what really makes it go is those players. Those guys are really, really good. Appreciate it.
All right, how we all doing? Good.
See Sione and Awok back on the field making plays on Sunday.
Oh, that was awesome. It's great to see those guys. Proud of them for how much they've put in so much work. They're in the buildings as much as us as coaches, rehabbing their injuries, working together, how well they communicate. They communicated really well in that football game, and we expect that and need that from them again. And, you know, number 6, he changed his number. He had been out for a little while too, so it's good to see all 3 of them.
Talked during the week about, you know, it's almost a year from the injury. It's Pittsburgh, it's prime time, and it brought up some emotions for him. Have you seen that out of him this week?
Oh, it walks the same every day, so he is locked in. I mean, we just finished our meeting, and he was the first one to answer a lot, and it's a competition in that room, and that's how we like it. So, I mean, that's who he is all the time. And each one of these, our goal is to go 1-0, so the motivation to play each week in this league in that room is we're getting it going. It's where we need it to be, which is be the best we can be each week whenever they blow the whistle, put the ball down and start playing.
What's his leadership style like?
Anthony, you know, he's amazing. He's the son of a coach, so he's been around coaches his whole life. So what he has is he has a unique ability to talk to any human with any background. He's really special. So sometimes it might be pulling somebody aside one-on-one. Sometimes it might be to the whole group. Hey, we've had enough of this. Let's go. He's got it all.
Said he never blitzed that much before. I guess obviously you liked him in that. You guys like him in that role. So what makes him effective as a blitzer?
Well, all our guys, what we want to do when we blitz is we want to bring it. We want to get to their backfield as fast as we can, like a lot of the things you've heard from Coach Schwartz. What's great about this defense is how fast and how direct we can hit things, and that's our job. So whatever's on our line that we're running, it's our job to wreck whatever's on that line, so to speak, with our hands and make plays. So when we get the opportunity to rush as linebackers, we got to take advantage of it, because if we don't run our line and wreck stuff, then Coach Schwartz probably not going to call the call again. So for all our guys, we need to make sure we're attacking. When our number's called, we need to go. And that's the beauty of this defense is the number can be, we can blitz from just about anywhere. It just depends what Coach Schwartz pushes the button on. So when you get your turn, you got to take advantage of that. And that's fun as a player, you know, and as a coach to watch, of course.
Okay, in minicamp, you kind of challenged him a little bit, and you set forth some things that you wanted and needed him to do. Did he step up and meet that challenge? Or has he?
Yeah, there was 2 big things. The number one is get strong. He's gotten stronger. His process of preparing his body is much better. And then the next thing is, you know, to be the same every day and really be focusing on his craft every day. His notes have improved. His attention to detail on and off the field has improved. And his ability to make corrections between series on the sideline is going up. So hopefully, and we think he will, stay on this process, because where he is right now is exciting to watch. He's playing fast, and he can even play faster as he continues to improve his process.
A little surprised how quickly Taki's gotten back and has been able to play so effectively already.
Like those guys, Anthony and Talk, they're amazing how hard they work. They make you happy to be associated with them as a person and as a coach, because everything they do is about getting back and getting their bodies ready and their minds ready to help their teammates make plays, and they're both totally unselfish as well. So surprised, not by how hard they work. They're pros, and it's the word is proud, and just can't wait to watch them play 1 week at a time and focus on it that way. So we like where they are and where they're going.
Talk a lot about Anthony's leadership, but how has Taki grown in that,
in
that realm?
Well, we've talked a little bit. You've heard from me over the past, year and a half, about how his progression's just amazing. When we got here, Sione's rookie year was filled with injuries, right? So when we got here, and then we had the COVID off season, so we're on FaceTime and Zoom and all those. I don't even know if I know how to use Zoom anymore. No, I'm kidding. But just to watch him where he was really a Sam Will and just grew into being able to handle any position and being able to focus on any of the spots. And it just went like, he just got better and better and better at it. And then last year got his opportunity to be the full-time Mike. So now he can do all of it. And it's really, really cool how he's learned how to do that. Because in this and in anything, when you're learning, you got to figure out how you learn. Every person learns different. And our job as a coach is to just help these guys. And what's been cool is to watch Sione figure out how to lock in. It's amazing. And when a person in any field learns how they learn and can lock in, then they're ready for greatness. And Sione's process to do that's been really cool to watch and help him along as good as I could.
Matchup issues does Fryermuth present, especially for the linebackers?
He's strong, and he's got strong hands, and he's big, and he's got a good feel for where people are, zone or man. So that can be, where he can get into some things and maybe stop a route at a certain point in time, maybe sooner as he feels where people are, and then he's big enough to become a big target. So that's really the challenge, is understanding how he sees coverages and where he's going to move and know where we are on those coverages and then be able to break on the ball. We've worked a good amount of that against all tight ends, but also this week. So say we're in a zone, we got to know where he might stop, and then the quarterback, of course, has the ball, so he takes us to it, but we've got to feel where he is. So that's the challenge.
With Johnson out, do you expect that he'll become a more even more pronounced part of that passing game?
They use both, 3 wide receiver groups with 1 tight end on the field and 1 back, and they also use a good amount of 2 receivers with 2 tight ends, and they drafted a tight end, so they have a few more tight ends. So we expect to see both sets of those personnel groups and then moving people around because they do a good job of moving their people around.
To be concerned about with Kenny Pickett.
He's gotten better and better at his decision making, and he knows how to read coverages, and he's played a lot of football. He's an experienced guy, so he's seen a lot of both. Like, for example, I'll give you an example of feeling where guys are in the pocket. He's got a lot of reps of that. Sometimes, quote, younger or less experienced quarterbacks don't feel the pocket as well. He's played a lot of football, so he's got a good feel for those things. So that's really the challenge, is making sure that we, whatever the scheme is, whether we're blitzing, don't get me excited and talk about blitzing again, but whether we're blitzing or whether we're in our zones, we got to understand, who he is, what he looks like on quicker throws, what he looks like on those things, and be ready to execute within the schemes.
Challenge when, obviously, Pittsburgh did not play its best game against the Niners, right? So you guys are watching that. Is there any danger in just seeing that game and, oh my God, there's all these flaws when you know that they're probably a lot better than that?
It's Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh. What's better than that? You're going to get your best from every human that steps on that field. Players, coaches, officials, everyone. So what happens in this league is next game, you got to play each game individually. Okay, we need our passion on defense that we play with to even go up a level, and our communication to go up a level each week. I mean, that's the goal. But in this environment, we're going to have to bring everything we got, all right, to play for as long as they tell us to play. So I don't think any of that really matters. It's the Browns and the Steelers, and we got to go, and we're excited about it.
Can you guys get to that level without a Juju Smith-Schuster or a Jamar Chase, throwing a little log on the fire?
Yeah, it's about us. So internally, that's where we really have to go. To get where we want to get as a football team is to be able to bring that every single day. We're about to go do our quote, Friday practice on a Saturday, right? Because we're on Monday Night Football. And you can tell right now I'm getting ready to bring whatever we got each day. I think we're learning how to do that. I think we're better. I really want to be able to prove that we're better at that day in and day out as a defense, as a linebacker core, as everything. But that's the challenge. And when you reach that, then it's just about yourself completely and how you prepare. And as I've been here for a while now, that's the challenge here, and that's the challenge weekly. So you're hitting it on the head. I know that's a coaching answer, but that is it. It's how well you can direct your brain to focus on what you need to do each day as a unit and tie everybody together. I think we're closer, but we need to go do that weekly.
With the run fits against Cincinnati, and how important is that going to be? Because we talked a lot about Pickett and the passing game, but Najee Harris also very capable runner.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember the stats, but he's up there with missed tackles and things, and he runs hard. He's very patient. They do a really good job of picking guys to fit their scheme and who they are throughout their history. And he's a patient runner, and he's big and he's strong. So to answer the first part question, Fitz last week, you've heard this from Coach Schwartz. You've heard it from me as well. The D-line's job, or when we're blitzing, is to mess stuff up, right? And the job of everybody else behind the line of scrimmage is to fix it. We fixed most of it. We had a back-to-back series where a couple runs got out. So, of course, we practiced the heck out of those. But we need to be better this week. And that's our goal, is to be better, making who's ever rushing correct and working together to do that. Thank you.